For my project, I set out to analyze this set of data I collected from my GPS tracker on a road trip up to Santa Cruz. Along the way, I encountered traffic and some sudden stops that I thought would be interesting to analyze. I decided to use Python with a variety of libraries installed to analyze this data. The first step was to import the CSV file into the pandas data frame. This raw data has a timestamp, latitude, and longitude, but there is much more hidden within the data. First, I create 3 new columns, one for the distance between each point, the speed, and the acceleration. Next, I defined a function to calculate the distance between 2 pairs of latitude and longitude points. Then, I run a loop which uses this function to fill in the distance column with the calculated distance at each row. Because each data point was taken 1 second apart, it is now very easy to calculate the speeds. To find acceleration, I simply run a loop to calculate the change in speed from one point to another. Finally, I add these new columns to the original data frame and export it as an Excel file that Tableau can read. Now, given just the timestamp, latitude, and longitude, I have my speed and acceleration throughout the trip. This is what the data looks like when I open this new Excel file in Tableau. I can plot the latitude and longitude points by changing them to dimensions. Using Tableau's map feature, I can place the points on a map. Using the speed column I calculated, I can assign a color value to each point. Using a spectrum from red to green, it intuitively shows how fast I was going throughout the drive. Because there are outliers skewing the scale, I filtered the data to only show freeway speeds to show a wider range of color. I applied another filter that makes the points with large decelerations larger in size. This shows large red spots on the map where I had to come to sudden stops. In the finished map, you can see my start and end points as well as the traffic conditions along the way. When you zoom in, you can see how I had to slow way down going around corners in the winding Santa Cruz Mountains. At one point, I had to come to a sudden stop when someone was turning into a driveway ahead of me. You can see that on this graph by the large red point. I was able to take the thousands of latitude and longitude points I collected, calculate the speed and acceleration for each, and plot them on a color-coded map. This map only shows the conditions for my one trip. However, with more users' data, a similar system could be implemented to show live traffic conditions.